Sometimes laziness feels like a heavy blanket. We want to move, but our mind whispers later. Yet small steps can change everything. Today's story shows how a strange rubber chicken taught a young man the power of the 2-minute rule. Ethan was 24. He had big dreams, but zero energy. Most days he promised himself to start working. Yet somehow, he ended up scrolling on his phone for hours. One morning, his best friend Mia knocked on his door. She was holding something ridiculous, a giant yellow rubber chicken. "This," she said with a grin, "is going to fix your life." Ethan laughed so hard he almost dropped his phone. "You're kidding, right? A chicken toy will fix my laziness." But Mia just nodded with a mysterious smile. Mia explained, "It's called the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. This chicken will remind you." She placed it on his desk. Ethan rolled his eyes. But later, when he saw the chicken, he sighed. "Fine, 2 minutes," he muttered and started washing the dirty cup beside him. 2 minutes turned into 5. Soon, the whole sink was clean. Ethan blinked in surprise. That wasn't so bad. The next day, he saw the chicken again. "Okay, 2 minutes," he told himself. This time he opened his laptop and typed a single sentence for his project. One sentence became a paragraph. A paragraph became a page. Ethan felt a spark inside. This chicken is actually working. One evening, he was about to skip exercising, but the chicken stared at him. "Fine," he shouted, laughing. He picked up a dumbbell and did curls. The 2-minute curls became 20 minutes of exercise. Ethan collapsed on the mat, smiling. "Wow, I actually did it." Days passed. Ethan cleaned, studied, wrote, and even exercised, all starting with 2 minutes. Laziness slowly loosened its grip. One night Mia visited again. She saw his tidy room and the open laptop full of notes. "I can't believe it," she whispered. "The chicken worked." Ethan chuckled. "It's not the chicken. It's the rule. 2 minutes is small, but it grows big." He tapped the rubber chicken's head gently. But Ethan still doubted himself sometimes. "What if I fall back into laziness?" he asked Mia. She just pointed at the chicken and said, "Then start again. 2 minutes." The chicken became his strange coach. Sometimes he imagined it clucking, "Do it now. 2 minutes." He laughed, but he listened. One morning, Ethan's alarm rang. Normally, he would snooze, but he saw the chicken on his desk. He groaned, "Fine, I'll get up." He stood up and stretched. 2 minutes later, he was already making coffee. Wow, he thought. The hardest part was just starting. Later, while studying, Ethan got stuck on a hard problem. He felt like quitting. Then he glanced at the chicken. 2 minutes, he whispered. He forced himself to study for just 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes became half an hour. By the end, he solved the problem and smiled in relief. One afternoon, his neighbor Mr. Howard, an old retired teacher, visited. He saw Ethan working hard and asked, "What changed you, son?" Ethan laughed nervously. A rubber chicken taught me discipline." Mr. Howard chuckled so hard his glasses almost fell off. But then Mr. Howard nodded seriously. "It doesn't matter what tool you use. What matters is that you've learned to begin." Those words stuck in Ethan's mind. Begin. 2 minutes was just the doorway. Behind it, a new world waited. Weeks passed. Ethan finished his project. He cleaned his apartment. He even started jogging in the mornings. All from 2 minutes. Jogging was hard at first. His legs burned. His lungs ached. But he told himself, just 2 minutes. Step by step, it became easier. One morning while jogging, he tripped and fell. Scraped his knee. For a moment, he wanted to quit. Then he imagined the chicken clucking. "Get up." He stood up slowly, limped, then walked for 2 minutes. Soon, he was running again, stronger than before. At night, he wrote in his journal, "It's funny. A silly chicken showed me that starting small breaks any wall." One rainy afternoon, Ethan felt heavy again. He stared at the ceiling, thinking, "Not today." but then his eyes landed on the chicken. He sighed 2 minutes. He stood up and picked a book. By the time the rain stopped, he had read 3 chapters. Soon, Ethan's confidence grew. He wasn't just doing chores or reading. He began planning his future again. He wrote, "Dream, become a designer." It scared him, but also excited him. The chicken seemed to smile. He started small again. 2 minutes of sketching each morning. Soon, his pages filled with drawings. Mia visited once more. She flipped through his sketches. "These are amazing," she said. Ethan blushed. "You should apply for that internship," Mia urged. Ethan froze. "Me? I'm not good enough." Mia placed the chicken in his hands. 2 minutes. Just start the application. Ethan gulped. He opened the form, typed his name. 2 minutes later, he was filling out everything. His hands moved faster than his doubts. When he hit submit, Ethan gasped. "I actually did it." His heart raced with both fear and pride. Weeks later, an email arrived. Ethan stared at the screen. He whispered, "Accepted." His hand shook. Tears filled his eyes. He laughed and hugged the chicken. "We did it, buddy." At his internship, Ethan worked hard. Whenever he felt lazy, he whispered, 2 minutes. It always worked. One colleague asked, laughing, "Why the chicken?" Ethan smiled. "It reminds me that even silly things can teach big lessons." That night, Ethan journaled again. Discipline doesn't always begin with strength. Sometimes it begins with something silly, like a rubber chicken. Months passed. Ethan grew stronger, more confident. He wasn't the same man who once lay on the couch for hours. One evening, he looked at the chicken and whispered, "Thank you." He realized it wasn't magic. It was the habit of starting. When friends asked how he changed, Ethan smiled. "I stopped waiting for motivation. I just began." And so, the lazy young man became the man who started. All because of the 2-minute rule and one very silly rubber chicken. Discipline doesn't need giant leaps. It begins with a tiny step, a single seed, a single moment, even 2 minutes. Start small, and life grows bigger than you imagined. So, what's your 2 minutes today? Share it, and maybe you'll inspire someone else to begin. The boy looked up and saw a giant clock in the sky. Its hand stopped at 2 minutes, glowing like fire. The sand of time fell down gently, reminding him that even the smallest moment counts. He laughed, holding the rubber chicken like a treasure.